This video I'm going to drain and remove an old tank water heater, so the first thing I'll do is shut the hot water line valve off. Then I'll take a small bucket and place it under the drain at the bottom and open it using a flathead screwdriver. It only drains out a little bit though, so I will go over and turn on the hot water side at the sink that I have in the basement, which will allow it to drain even more. Then I will watch for the bucket to fill up and shut the hot water line off at the sink so I can dump it, and then I'll just keep doing that until there's no more water in the lines. During the rest of the draining process, I will keep the hot water line at the sink open all the way so everything will drain properly. Now I will locate the relief valve on the side and near the top of the water heater. Opening this will allow me to drain the rest of the water out. I eventually start seeing water come out of the relief valve as well, so I'll put a small container under the pipe so the ground doesn't get too wet. Then I'll just keep filling up and dumping the bucket and start thinking of a better way to do this since this is a 40-gallon tank. The smartest way would have been to attach a hose to the drain and run that to my sump pit, but I don't have one on hand to do it that way. So I'll keep doing it the hard way by letting the bucket fill up, then shutting off the relief valve and drain to dump the water out and opening them both back up to let it drain more. And I keep doing that up until I figure out I can save some trips to dump the small bucket by just dumping into a 5-gallon bucket until that's full. Using the larger bucket still takes quite a while to drain, but I eventually get to the point where the water starts to just trickle out, so I decide to dump it again, and then leave it open for a couple of hours while I work on something else. Then when I come back, the drain is just barely dripping, so I dump the bucket one last time before I start to disconnect everything. So I will double check to make sure that the hot water line is still off and then start disconnecting the flexible metal connectors. And as a temporary measure so I can still use the cold water until I get the new heater, I will connect the lines together for when I use any water taps that have a single handle. Now I will remove the other flexible hose and then just tear the exhaust pipe off since I'll be replacing this with an electric water heater. Then I'll dump out the water I let drip overnight and shut off the gas line so I can disconnect that next. I actually had the gas shut off completely to this location since I'm planning to go all electric with solar, but I still capped the gas line pipe off, which I don't show. And after disconnecting the flexible gas line, I have the water heater ready to remove, so I will roll it into position at the bottom of the stairs out of the basement. I don't have anyone to help me get up the stairs, so I have to get creative on how to do it by myself, so I decide to attach some old electrical wire I had laying around with some vice grips. Then I will clip on a come along to the wire and run the other end out to a beam in my garage so I can just crank the water heater out of the basement. Hopefully this video has helped, and feel free to ask any questions that you still may have in the comments. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe for more quick and on-point videos.